Capital Rumble of 2022 event by Colton Dennis. Hello everyone and welcome to Capital Rumble. Tonight we have a great match in store, said announcer number 1. That's right, 3 wrestlers are gonna be in a triple threat ladder match, where the winner will be the next pick for Blood Rumble, said announcer number 2. And we don't have to wait, because the match is right now, said announcer number 1. Bell dings. This match is scheduled for 1 fall, and is a triple threat ladder match. Now the first person to climb the ladder and retrieve the clipboard will be the winner. Introducing the challengers, Wrath Hog, Hellfire and Chaos, said announcer number 3. Bell dings. Both Chaos and Wrath Hog looking at each other, then at Hellfire. Hellfire staring at both Chaos and Wrath Hog. Go on. Get him, said Wrath Hog. Are you insane? You get him, said Chaos. Both Chaos and Wrath Hog are arguing. Hellfire approaches both Chaos and Wrath Hog, then does a throat thrust onto Chaos. Chaos falls onto the mat, then rolls outside of the ring. Wrath Hog looks at Hellfire, then punches him. Hellfire looks at Wrath Hog. Wrath Hog punches Hellfire again. Hellfire looks at Wrath Hog again. Wrath Hog sighs, then kicks Hellfire in his stomach. Hellfire groans. Wrath Hog hitting Hellfire's back. Hellfire groans, then walks away. Wrath Hog approaches Hellfire. Hellfire does a throat thrust onto Wrath Hog. Wrath Hog holds his face. Hellfire grabs Wrath Hog's head, then bounces him off the turnbuckle. Wrath Hog groans. Hellfire punches Wrath Hog in his right side. Chaos slides into the ring with a steel chair, then swings it. The steel chair hits Hellfire's back. Hellfire groans. Chaos swings the steel chair again. The steel chair hits Hellfire's back again. Hellfire falls onto his knees. Chaos swings the steel chair a third time. The steel chair hits Hellfire's back a third time. Hellfire groaning. Chaos smiling. That's what you get for what you did to me, said Chaos. Turning around. Wrath Hog knees Chaos in his stomach, hits his back, bounces him off the ropes, then goes for a clothesline. Chaos ducks, runs, bounces off the ropes on the opposite side of the ropes. Then does a crossbody onto Wrath Hog. Wrath Hog groaning. Chaos kicking Wrath Hog. Wrath Hog rolling outside of the ring. Hellfire slowly stands up in the corner. Chaos turns around, runs at Hellfire, then does a corner body splash onto him. Hellfire groans. Chaos hits Hellfire's back. Hellfire falls to his knees. Chaos runs, then bounces off the ropes. Hellfire grabs Chaos by his throat. Chaos struggling. Hellfire looks at Chaos, then lifts him up. Wrath Hog chop blocks Hellfire's left leg. Hellfire falls onto the mat. Come on, said Wrath Hog. Both Chaos and Wrath Hog grab Hellfire, then throw him into the ring post. Hellfire falls onto the ledge of the ring, then rolls onto the floor. Good work, said Chaos, tapping Wrath Hog's chest. Wrath Hog looks at Chaos, then punches him. Chaos groans. Wrath Hog grabs Chaos, then bounces his head off the turnbuckle. Chaos holding his face. Wrath Hog bounces Chaos off the ropes, then clotheslines him. Chaos rolling towards the ropes. Wrath Hog looks up at the clipboard. That's right, Wrath Hog. You need a ladder, said announcer number 2. I'm so surprised those two took out Hellfire, said announcer number 1. Me too, said announcer number 2. Wrath Hog goes through the middle ropes, walks, then grabs a ladder. Chaos running at Wrath Hog. Wrath Hog throws the ladder at Chaos. Chaos falls onto the floor. My God, said announcer number 1. I hope Chaos is all right, said announcer number 2. Wrath Hog grabs the ladder. picks it up, then turns around. Hellfire boots Wrath Hog. Wrath Hog falls onto the floor. Hellfire moves the ladder that starts kicking Wrath Hog. Chaos slowly standing. Hellfire looks at Chaos. Chaos turns around. Hellfire clotheslines Chaos hard onto the floor. Did you hear that impact? Asked announcer number 1. Hellfire continuously kicking Chaos. Wrath Hog crawling away. Hellfire approaches Wrath Hog. Grabs his head, then bounces him off the barricade. Wrath Hog groaning. Hellfire walks away, then grabs a ladder. The ladder gets slid into the ring. Hellfire slides into the ring, stands up, grabs the ladder, then sets it up in the middle of the ring. Hellfire might grab the clipboard, said announcer number 2. Look again, said announcer number 1. Wrath Hog slides into the ring. Hellfire climbing up the ladder. Wrath Hog grabs the ladder. Hellfire looks down at Wrath Hog, then shakes his head. Wrath Hog pushes the ladder. Hellfire falls, then gets hung up onto the top rope. Wrath Hog fixes the ladder, walks over, then starts kicking Hellfire. Hellfire rolls outside of the ring. Wrath Hog grabs the ladder, then starts climbing up it. Chaos slides into the ring, holds his head, then climbs up the other side of the ladder. Both Chaos and Wrath Hog get to the top of the ladder, then start punching each other. Wrath Hog headbutts Chaos. Chaos swaying. Wrath Hog reaches for the clipboard. Chaos pulls himself back up, then punches Wrath Hog. Wrath Hog groans. Chaos hitting Wrath Hog's back, then looks down. What is Chaos thinking here? Asked announcer number 2. Chaos does a sunset flip powerbomb onto Wrath Hog off the ladder. Both Chaos and Wrath Hog are laying still on the mat. All 3 opponents are down, said announcer number 1. Chaos slowly moving. Grabs the ropes, then pulls himself up. Hellfire slides into the ring. Chaos turns around. Hellfire boots Chaos. Chaos goes through the middle ropes. Hellfire looks up at the ladder, starts climbing. It then gets to the top. Chaos climbs onto the ledge of the ring, then throws a steel chair. The steel chair hits Hellfire's legs. Hellfire groans, then falls off of the ladder. Chaos gets into the ring, grabs the steel chair, then swings it. The steel chair hits Hellfire's back. Hellfire groans. Chaos kicks Hellfire outside of the ring, then drops the steel chair. Chaos better look behind him. Chaos turns around. Wrath Hog punches Chaos a few times, bounces him off ropes, then does a tilt-a-whirl power slam. He just nailed and quat. Wrath of the Hog and quat, said announce number 2. What a devastating move that was, said announcer number 1. Wrath Hog grabs Chaos's head, picks him up, throws him through the middle ropes, leans against the ropes, then looks up at the clipboard. Go get it, Wrath Hog, said announcer number 2. Is that who you're routing for? Asked announcer number 1. Actually, any of these people. They're great wrestlers, said announcer number 2. Wrath Hog slowly climbing up the ladder. Gets to the top, then reaches for the clipboard. Hellfire slides into the ring, stands up, grabs other side of ladder, then tilts it. Wrath Hog shaking his head, falls off of the ladder, then lands onto Chaos. Both Chaos and Wrath Hog are groaning. Hellfire kneeling, stands up, then unfolds the ladder. What is Hellfire doing? Asked announcer number 1. Hellfire lifts the ladder over his head. Both Chaos and Wrath Hog are slowly standing up outside of the ring, then look up at Hellfire. Hellfire throws the ladder onto both Chaos and Wrath Hog. Dear Lord, said announcer number 1. Let's hope they're all right, said announcer number 2. Hellfire leaning against the ropes, walks, then goes through the middle ropes. A second ladder is being grabbed, then thrown into the ring. Hellfire leaning against the ring. Chaos stands up, slides into the ring, quickly stands up, bounces off the ropes on the opposite side of the ring, then does a baseball slide onto Hellfire. Hellfire goes into the announce table. Chaos groaning, stands up onto the ledge of the ring, then turns around. Hellfire slowly stands up. Chaos jumps up, then does a springboard moonsault onto Hellfire. This is chaotic, said announcer number 1. These three won't ever be the same after tonight, said announcer number 2. Chaos slowly stands up, then starts cleaning off the announce table. What are you doing? Asked announcer number 1. Move, now, said Chaos. Announcer number 1 and announcer number 2 are moving out of the way. Chaos, walking away, grabs a ladder, then sets it up next to the announce table. Hellfire is slowly moving. Chaos grabs Hellfire, hits his back a few times, then pushes him onto the announce table. Hellfire laying onto the announce table. Chaos slowly climbs up the ladder, then gets to the top of it. Wrathhog approaches, grabs the ladder, then looks up at Chaos. Chaos shaking his head. Wrathhog tilts the ladder. Chaos falls back inside the ring, then lands onto the mat. Wrathhog leaning against the ring ledge. Hellfire sits up on the announce table, then looks at Wrathhog. Wrathhog turns around. Hellfire grabs Wrathhog by his throat. Wrathhog shaking his head. Hellfire turns around, lifts Wrathhog, then chokeslams him through the announce table. Wrathhog groaning. The crowd is cheering loudly. Hellfire looks into the ring. Chaos slowly moving. Hellfire climbs onto the ledge of the ring, goes up the turnbuckle, then gets to the top rope. Chaos turns around. Hellfire jumps off the top rope. Chaos throws the ladder at Hellfire. Hellfire groans. Chaos leaning against the ropes. Walks, grabs the ladder, sets it up, then slowly climbs up it. Hellfire slowly moving. Chaos gets to the top of the ladder, then reaches for the clipboard. Hellfire shaking the ladder. No, 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 said Chaos. Hellfire grabs Chaos's left leg, then starts pulling him down. Chaos struggling, then falls off of the ladder. Hellfire catches Chaos by his throat, lifts, then chokeslams him. Chaos groans, then rolls outside of the ring. Hellfire leans against the ropes, then goes to climb up the ladder. Wrathhog appears on the ledge of the ring. Hellfire boots Wrathhog. Wrathhog falls off the ledge of the ring, then lands onto the floor. Hellfire climbs up the ladder, then gets to the top of it. Chaos climbs up the other side, gets to the top of it, then punches Hellfire. Hellfire does a throat thrust onto Chaos, grabs him by his throat, then chokeslams him off the ladder. Chaos lands onto the mat, then rolls outside of the ring. Hellfire grabs the clipboard, then pulls it down. Bell dings. Here's your winner, Hellfire, said announce number 3. Hellfire climbs down the ladder. Well, congratulations to Hellfire, said announce number 1. He definitely deserves this. And now? He'll be on Blood Rumble, said announce number 2. Hellfire goes through the middle ropes. The crowd cheering louder. Well, we want to thank you folks for watching. Be safe out there and good night, said announcer number 1. Bye bye, said announcer number 2 waving. The end.